Hey, what's up? This is Pastor Troy Nichols, and I developed a 6-week curriculum on self care. Now, consider this before we dive into what this curriculum is about. Have you ever felt like your life is just out of control? Burnt out? Sick and tired of being sick and tired? Overwhelmed, maybe? And there may not actually even be something bad. You just may have the feeling of something not feeling right. Like you're just going through the motions of life and you start to question everything. Maybe you've questioned your call, your gifts. Maybe you even started questioning God. If that is you, I don't want you to feel bad because you're not alone. In fact, 8 out of 10 Americans said that they encounter stress in their daily lives. And stress is a contributing factor to the 6 leading causes of death right here in the United States. And those statistics do not discriminate against Christians. But before you go and question everything that you're doing, asking yourself if you're doing the right stuff, perhaps there's another question that you should be asking. The question of, are you doing it the right way? Or in other words, have you missed the rest stops on this journey that we call life? The worldly pace or the rhythm of life is not working, and it has a significant impact on those serving in ministry, as burnout is prevalent. Burnout, as defined in Finishing Well in Life and Ministry by Bill Mills and Craig Perrow, is defined as the point at which a pastor, a church leader, or a missionary gives up, is unable or unwilling to continue the ministry. Tom Rainier came up with a poll asking pastors that were burnt out some strategies and how to overcome burnout. And some of the pastors responded and they came up with this list of top 12 things. Spend more time in prayer and the word. Regain loss of vision for ministry. Stop comparing yourself to others. Develop relationships with non-Christians. Focus on the positive. Have fun. Cut off draining relationships. Express gratitude. Do activities that energize you. Get in better shape. Commit to have the spirit of a servant. And pray for your community. Those were the top 12 things that pastors recommended to help overcome this feeling of burnout. And while all of those responses are perhaps answers to the challenge of burnout, it came apparent to me that something is missing from that list. The intentional practice of a kingdom rhythm called Sabbath. The Sabbath. If you have spent any time in church, you should be familiar with this word. The idea of Sabbath, though, can be one of those divisive things. There's denominations that argue over how a Sabbath should be celebrated, what day the Sabbath should be on. It's one of those subjects like giving or fasting that when a preacher usually starts preaching, a listener can tend to tune out. And I get it. If there's anything that's off limits, if there's anything that we don't like to be told what to do about, it's what we eat and drink, what we do with our money, and what we do with our time. But before you tune me out and fast forward to this video, let me remind you that anxiety is something that's prevalent in America today. Between 2017 and 2018, we saw a 40% jump in those that are reporting to have an anxiety disorder. And over the past 3 decades, we saw anxiety in America jump 1,200%. So we know that the rhythm of this world's life isn't working. God is calling us to a rhythm of rest. But to experience this rest, we must stop. The following is a 6-week curriculum, a guide to ministry workers to enter into the kingdom rhythm of Sabbath by encouraging them to stop, surrender, trust, observe, and prepare. This curriculum can be used as a group study, a sermon series, or for individual use. First, in this curriculum, we look at the biblical context of Sabbath, starting with reading Exodus 20 8 through 11, where God reminds Moses and the Israelites of this kingdom rhythm of Sabbath that was established at the beginning of time. And it reads, "Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all of your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you, nor your son, nor daughter, nor your male or female servant, nor animals, nor any foreigner residing in your town. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, but he rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy." By utilizing this curriculum, my hope is that one should be equipped with a better scriptural understanding of the Sabbath, that they understand that this was a kingdom rhythm that God ordained before even the fall of man. And as kingdom people, when we give our lives to Christ, we have the privilege to walk out of the kingdom of darkness, to walk away from the rhythms of this life, and to walk into the rhythms of our kingdom lives that we can experience now and forevermore, which means we have the privilege and the opportunity to walk into the Sabbath and to have that be a regular rhythm of our lives. So this curriculum should equip individuals in ministry to better understand what the Bible says about Sabbath in a real practical way, but it also will allow for ministry workers to practice some practical activities to help them enter into a Sabbath rhythm and sustain a Sabbath rhythm for the rest of their lives by looking at the acronym STOP. Surrendering, trusting, observing, and preparing. Not only will this curriculum lay the biblical foundation for Sabbath and take us through how we can live into practical applications of the Sabbath through this acronym, but the activities in this curriculum are self-reflective activities and self-care activities with the hope that as you're going through this curriculum, you start to experience Sabbath rest as well. My hope is that it blesses you, your church, your ministry, and that we could remain in pastoral ministry for the long haul. God bless.